My father had a fairly fancy hi-fi set back when I grew up. In fact, I still have it out in the garage, but I don't have the record player part of it. Uh, I remember it sat in a special place in the living room. I don't remember listening to recorded music that much. A lot of radio, but I do remember that my parents enjoyed collecting record albums, and they had even some of the old 78 RPMs, and I think my sister still has some of those, but mostly we had the 33 and a third uh, records, and I remember listening to Brazilian music by Antonio Carlos Jobim, and I still like him today. In fact, I think we have some of those records somewhere. And I don't remember much else about what we used to listen to. When I was old enough to buy music myself somewhere in my teens, I think the first music I ever bought was in cassettes because they were cheaper to buy and play. But later I bought a record player and I bought albums as well. And here's one of them. Bonnie Raitt, one of my favorites. Guys and Dolls. I was in this in high school, so that's one way that record was fun and important because I could listen to this, compare the quality of our high school performance to the Broadway production, which I never got to see myself, even though it was in town in Washington recently, and all kinds of other music that we enjoyed over time. Lately now we use more CDs than anything else, and that's about it. Any questions?
Uh, uh,
I think my grandparents had a record player also, and I'm gonna try to remember a story that my grandfather lived in he was the manager of a hotel, so he lived in the hotel, and he tells a story. Either he was lying in his living room in his hotel suite, and he was a graduate from Yale University, and I think he may have been listening to a record of the Yale Fight Song. Maybe he was just singing it, but I certainly imagine he might have been listening to a record of the Yale Fight Song. Except he was like, the story is that he was naked lying on his sofa, but the door was the door was open somehow to his suite at the hotel, and he was singing the Yale Fight Song when somebody poked their head in the door and said, Yale 1926 or whatever year that person graduated. And my grandfather said Yale 1918 or something, which is the year he graduated.
did a lot of your friends listen to records?
What was I gonna say?
Yeah, more of my friends were record collectors and than I was. So there was a lot of it around me. My friend Lee has a fairly big collection, which he still listens to now. He has some CDs, but he also has a lot of records that he plays. A lot of LPs. You know what LP stands for?
No, I'm playing.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not talking about that.
All right, okay.
Because
Why not?
I have a question.
Just well, I'm not going to. Okay. My next question is Shut up. My next question is
Why don't you let Alex ask the question while you think of it?
Okay, go.
Okay, if you were to have a group of your friends in a whole big group, and you were to pick a certain amount of people out of that group, how many people do you think would have a record player?
Now?
Yeah.
Or
Back then.
Well, yeah, both actually.
I'd say 8 out of 10 back then, and somewhat less now because of CDs.
Yeah.
So 80%,
Oh,
and now
I
it's probably
remember.
down to 50%. We just have the toy record player, and we listen to our favorite song. What did you eat?
Okay.
What did you eat?
Okay.
What did you
my
eat
question is,
this morning?
did you notice-
Did you have some
Okay,
toast?
okay.
Raise your hand.
Did you notice
Raise your hand.
Did you notice?
Raise your hand.
Did you notice?
Raise your hand.
Okay, as to capture this video, it's wasting
A
space.
skipping record is one of the more interesting part of our culture.
Okay. My question is, did you notice a big Was the sound quality good from
In
the
fact-
record? Was the sound quality good? Did you think of the record, and then when cassettes came out, did you think that there was a major difference or just a little difference?
Cassettes had the advantage of no skip sound, little pops sounding, little pops here and there. The cassettes had hiss in the background. When you played them at high volume, there was just a sound that records didn't have. And
So both were
So-
about equal.
each had an advantage and disadvantage. Cassettes were more portable. You could play them in a car, and you could play them on battery-driven things and with headphones. Records didn't have that advantage. But records, rap music and records are closely related
Just the
because
news records.
the air. That's not done on using other technologies. So records still have a role in our culture. Technology still helps to.
Well, sometimes computers do that. So.
Yeah, they do.
We don't have any more questions. We're stopping.
Wait, but let me tell you more.
Is there any more? Okay, we
This
don't
is
want to know about someone that
Lori.
looks like Michael Lehrman's mom naked. It's sort of like a man.
Michael Lehrman's mom naked?
Yeah, look at that.
Michael Lehrman's mom looks like naked?
No!
What are you saying, Aaron?
The person looks like Michael Lehrman's mom.
This is
without,
Simon Garfunkel's
clothes on.
greatest hits. Like a bridge over troubled waters.
we're
Wait,
done.
wait. Oh, here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Yeah, this is impact on culture. The sounds of silence. Narrow streets I walked alone. Narrow streets of cobblestone. The Boxer. I don't know how that goes. 50 Cent. Scarborough. Do you know, have you been to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. I am a rock, I am an island. Kathy song. Cecilia, you're breaking my heart. America. Bookends, don't know. Homeward Bound. I can't sing that. El Condor Pasa. I'd rather be a hammer than a nail. For Emily, whenever I may find her. And so you could have these songs playing in the background while I sing them. What a beautiful thing. That's it.
I don't have anything to say.
They'll ask you. You'll remember sitting in your sister's room, playing with the old.
What are you doing? Stop changing the pictures, you idiot.
So, talking about my first stereo system, is
That's
that
it,
also,
the one that had the integrated.
that looked like a space? What Ashbury does it look like? So,
We're gonna put, if he's in it, we're gonna put
Do I
Astro. Astro. Dog. Okay. Our first question is, did you use the phonograph a lot, or the gramophone a lot?
Yes, I had a phonograph. I remember, well, first I remember the old phonographs that came. They were little boxes with a top and a latch, and you could play 33s or you could play 45s. And if you played 45s, you used to have to put a little disc where the spinner part was, so the record would sit properly, because those were the smaller records, and they had a bigger center donut hole cut out. And I also remember when I first got my stereo system, my first stereo system, I had saved my money up from working, and I purchased the system. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to have separate parts, and I got one that was everything all in one, but
That's good.
it was, I can still remember it. It had separate speakers, and that looked like a little space.
How much was it?
I think it was probably like $120.
And
Back
what did it
then
have
was
on
a
it?
lot of money. It just had an AM/FM radio and a part to play records. And
The gramophone?
I guess, yeah, it was a gramophone, a phonograph.
Gramophone. Phonographs use cylindrical.
What's
Phonographs are tubes. They play tubes. Gramophones play flat discs.
Well, I don't know what it was then.
Well, did it play flat discs?
It played these
Yeah,
things? Yeah.
it's a gramophone.
That's a gramophone, okay. Well, that's what it played. It
Okay.
played records. And then I took that stereo with me to college and had it in my dorm and added to a lot.
Did you think the sound quality was any good?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was,
How easily did the records break?
they actually were breakable. Actually, I remember when I was a little kid, my sister had bought the first Beatles album called Meet the Beatles, and my mother was putting a record on for me. I liked the Beatles, but I still listened to, I was still young, and I remember we were down in our den, and she was doing something, and she put on a record for me, and I still remember it was called Macaroni, the Little Pony, and she was going to put that record on for me, and she took my sister's Beatle record off, and it fell on the floor, and it broke, and my sister was very sad.
Did the as you listened to the records more often, did the sound quality decrease and did they start to skip more and stuff like that?
Well, you had to take care of the records because if you knocked into them or whatever, they could get scratches, and then they didn't play properly. So you had to
But just from normal like playing wear and tear, would they like wear down eventually?
I didn't notice that myself. They seemed to me to.
Did
play
you notice a
something.
big difference between the quality of tape players and gramophones or phonographs?
Tape players and phonographs. I don't remember so much the tape players. More people had, I guess, got those in their car as part of their car stereos. That was a big thing. And then there was a while when 8-tracks first came out, but not a lot of people invested in those. So I don't really remember. The cassette part was, I never got into it that much. I should be standing here so I don't look that way all the time. Isn't that correct?
That's it. And you don't have anything else that you remember, right?
Well, the other thing that I can remember is my parents actually had a interesting gramophone, which was a piece of furniture set into a box, and you open the lid, and it was set down inside. And it also had an AM/FM radio. The controls were on the outside, but it was a huge, like, dresser type of contraption that housed the phonograph. That was its sole purpose.
I mean the gramophone. I mean
The
it played flat disc.
Played flat disc, right? The gramophone. Did you ever see that in Grandma's house? I think she still has it.
I'll take it if she still has it.
She might still have it.
Okay,
I'm not
that's it.
sure.
Bye.
Okay.
Wait, I have to get a close up of Astrid. We're gonna put this in the video.
So I hope you have enough of me looking at the camera and not looking at you.
We're gonna take most of the audio.
Okay.
Oh, doggy.